Facebook Live. I've never heard of this shit.
Broadcasting live from the basement of the Pentagon. This is WTF Nation Radio.
This is a public service announcement from C.T. Fletcher. I will not contribute to the pussification of a nation. Get your punk ass out there and work for it, motherfucker.
Let's roll.
Morning, Sergeant Major.
How do you know what kind of goddamn day it is?
Beautiful morning, Sergeant Major.
Are you a fucking weatherman now?
You're listening to Sergeant's Time on WTF Nation Radio.
Oh, man. Break them off, son. Broadcasting live for the Functional Veterans Center of Excellence this 28th January 2021. WTF Nation Radio. U.S. Army WTF Moments. Are we broadcasting 5x5? Can you all hear us? This is going to be a pretty interesting show. Man. I'm your host, Ice. My other host, Spanky, in the gunner seat.
Hey, y'all.
Oh, hey, y'all.
It's still January?
It's still January. You okay? You just sound like you're down and out on the way. You're all right? You okay?
Oh, I'm okay. I will live.
Okay.
I will make it. I will power through it.
You'll power through this?
Like I'm powering through this fucking month that's never ending.
You ain't lying. Oh, man. So, real quick, just to give you guys a heads up on what's happening this week. So I'll just break it down right now. There has been a release and update of AR 670-1, and man, it has caused a lot of I don't want to say backlash. Has it caused any backlash? What do you think? Do you think there's some drama about it?
Oh, there's all sorts of drama. Nobody's ever happy, and nobody will ever be happy. I mean, especially because y'all didn't get some beards.
Well,
there's a lot of good, and I guess there was just not enough good. That everybody wanted more.
Funny,
Give me more.
Funny that you said that, because The beards were the biggest topic, which in a way we're kind of like, I'll be honest with you, I don't really care about the beard thing that much. I really don't. I mean, I am I guess when you've grown beards before, when you've been deployed or whatever, like, it gets kind of old, you know what I mean? It does. And then actually, you know, doing the no shave November thing, and then, you know, keeping the beard because the kid wants you to keep going to the beard so that way they can do but I just, for uniform purposes, to me, I'm indifferent about it. I don't care. I'll don't get me wrong. You give me a good reason to rally behind it, you know, I could see that. I know Sergeant Major of the Army was giving a lot of heads up and sneak peeks of whatever, to include the fact that you know, what would Sergeant Major of the Army look like with a beard? Well, our memesters and our excellent the memers out of the Red Panda meme factory decided to do up a meme of what would Sergeant Major of the Army Grinston look like first, smiling, and what would he look like smiling with a beard. So there you go. That's for the world to see. And of course that got passed around the nets and pretty much broke the internet, and all to the fact to where, you know, you gotta break the beards, you don't get no beards. But I as a guy, as a man, I don't know. It's not a fucking big deal for me. I mean, does that make sense? I mean, it just feels weird to.
No, it does make sense, and obviously it makes no difference to me.
Right.
But that's the whole issue. If you ask me, I'm like, it's not a big deal. Let them grow beards.
Right.
I don't know, you know, y'all can, like, not catfish us, but beard fish us then, because some of y'all look way better with beards than you do without.
Yeah, but there's some individuals that look straight like freaking like patchy ass, you know, looking like ass with beards. There's some individuals that just can't grow it right. So at what length or what do we decide is good to go? And I'm only speaking on the guy's point of view.
I absolutely understand that, because that's the problem we have been having as females. Like, if our hair is short, there's that point in time where we couldn't keep it in regs if we were trying to grow it out, which
Correct.
they fixed that.
Right. Well, again,
so there's got to be some fix. Like, when y'all are trying to grow your beard out, it's gonna look like ass for a couple weeks. I guess that you'd grow it out on leave and you come back to work with a new beard.
Really. Well, I'll be honest with you. That there was, and I did kind of admit this on the Twitterage, is that I had the issue with the beard thing. To me, was more of the for the soldiers, you know, persons of color, for black soldiers, Hispanic soldiers,
yes,
that have the ingrown hairs that need to shave. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I mean, might as well admit it on air. There's been times where soldiers that I know, where you could see it in their face. It's like bumping up and all that. I'm like, dude, don't shave. Just don't shave. Avoid the head shed. You know, see about getting a shaving profile or whatever sometime, and then I would forget about it. I wouldn't sit there and, you know, oh, you better be clean shaven, because obviously you see somebody with their face all bumped up and then it needs to get shaved. I just didn't bother me. I didn't give a shit.
Right.
So I could see that where that was an issue. Now the thing is that, well, shit, we might as well just kind of, I don't know. Do you guys want to get into the weeds already on this? Because I mean, we can go for it.
I mean, there's so many weeds.
There's so many weeds to get into on this. And everyone was flipping out on just asking a question. There's individuals out there that are getting just destroyed and wrecked on social media just for asking the question because they don't know. And I think this also was a good lesson for the Army to know what is considered wrong, what's considered, I don't want to say offensive, but what opened up to other cultures on how they would wear their hair and how they would speak about their hair and how they would wear it, if that makes any sense. You know, it wasn't everyone's like, oh, well, you know, now the Army's getting woke and all that stuff. I'm like, no, that's not the issue. It's that we're not just, I don't know, one race or one gender in the Army anymore. There is now, that's it. We have women in the Army. We have, you know, there's different standards and there's different cultural, there's different racial, I won't say makeup of how someone would wear their hair, but there is. So with that, I will say that as we're talking through this, I want everybody to understand that this is changing, that this is a living document. This is not, obviously this is going to get posted and it's going to get changed. And Sergeant Major did say, if you guys tune into the town hall, this is going to be obviously updated, implemented, and then of course an ALRAC will come out. And you know how the Army, when it comes to shit like that, there's going to be an ALRAC to a reg. You know, we've had AR-16-1 changed before. It's not like the first time we've changed AR-16-1.
I mean, it's changed several times. Some of the stuff we're going back to, some of the stuff we're taking away again.
Right.
It's like,
right.
I know I used to be able to wear nail polish until they took it away.
Right.
So then I just wear a color you couldn't tell was nail polish.
Right. So
I need it.
Exactly. So to
and
look.
It's not for her to look pretty. Just need it.
Well, I and that's another thing too. That's a good point you bring up. I think a lot of the regulations that have been within leadership have been enforced what they think is faddish, what they think is not in regs, what they think you don't need, if that makes any sense.
That is absolutely my least favorite word in the whole AR-670-1 is faddish. Like, who decides? Like, that,
right.
I think they should just ban the use of that word in that regulation. Because what's faddish, like, in 10 years ago is not anymore. You know, I mean, there was been a time that tattoos would be considered faddish.
Exactly. So we're gonna bring up the first off is we're gonna discuss how it went and all that. I'm gonna go over pretty much. I'm not gonna go slide for slide, but I'm gonna go over at least some high points of the briefing that has been released and all that. You guys, sorry, it's a slideshow, but I'm only gonna hit some points because some of it needs to be hit because a lot of questions are, well, who sat on the panel and who didn't do this and how come didn't do that? How many women sat on the How many blah 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 blah. So with that, I'm just gonna go ahead and just I'll bust out what the SME team looked like. And this right here, you had representatives from a lot of commands. You see commands from USASOC, TRADOC, FORSCOM, Walter Reed, DHA. I didn't even know DHA had. Oh, that's a health agency, of course. DLA, the Office of the Surgeon General, Army Futures Command. So it was pretty. I don't know. To me, it looked like it was a pretty diverse Army wide, if that makes any sense. There was the women breakdown and the man breakdown. There you go. Man only had 2 votes. 62 voters. That's what I'm talking about.
That's why y'all didn't get no beards.
That's I don't want to say it. If you want to say
I mean
no, I'm not falling for your trap, Spanky. I'm not gonna say that. Nope. I agree with you or say something like that and they're gonna be like right there on WTF Nation Radio they were talking about. So you see,
I'm not talking about none.
I'm just saying,
but I'm just saying I'm
right.
Gonna guess that those 2
correct
sergeant majors were the not being able to grow beard people.
It was probably it. They were probably patchy dudes.
Neck beards.
Yeah, they're neck beards exactly. Some dudes like, hey, wait a minute, I can't grow a beard, so you can't have one. If I can't grow a beard, I'll make you. But anyways, you can see the breakdown of the 15 voters. You can see that there was definitely women on the panel. You can see there was men on the panel and non-voting SMEs, dermatologists and psychologists and EOA, and then other data that range from age 24 to 55. So you can definitely see there's a span of age. Now, first that we want to discuss is the earrings and stuff. It's amended authorizing female soldiers to wear earrings with the Army combat uniform. What do you think about that? What's the?
I would never bother. I'm sorry, I would never bother. And that one made no sense to me. It's like, who really cares? I guess some people do, and I barely even wore them when I was in my dress uniform. But this is just one of those things that, to me, it was just like, whatever. And most females I know were just like, whatever. That's not something that helps us, hurts us,
I can see that.
in any way. Yeah, there's lots of changes that they wanted, and then some did come up that females wanted and needed for different reasons. Wearing fucking earrings is just like, whatever.
I don't understand why it says a panel in favor authorizing for optional wear, but it didn't say anything about pearls. I'm saying about pearls. You notice that?
Yeah, I heard that not gonna be able to wear pearls if they're for fancy occasions. Which I'm like, who
wears
that pearls are for fancy occasions?
Occasions? Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I wear that shit to Walmart.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Minimum hair length. I think this was pretty cool too because it specifies no minimum hair length for female soldiers, or I should say, women soldiers now. And panel was in favor of the recommendation to ensure that women soldiers taper their hair and add a part as an option, which it's not, currently does not authorize women to naturally part the option of their hair, which I didn't know. It was an option for women soldiers to have their hair short. I didn't know that.
Well, I do remember once upon a time, women in the reg had even said that it couldn't be so short that it would be masculine in appearance.
I remember that.
It used to. I remember that.
I remember that.
And then, I didn't know that. Like, who said we couldn't cut hair style into our apart? I don't know. I knew weren't men allowed to like cut a natural part as long
There
as it
were,
was
yeah.
straight?
Correct.
So I don't know
Correct.
why this came up, but
Right.
obviously there's probably been a bunch of women that like got the ass about it. Or,
Right.
People got on their ass about
Right.
it.
Well,
It's probably like the same people that before were thinking, "Oh, your hair is not allowed to be that short,"
or it's
which is
faddish.
ridiculous.
Or is that what someone would say? It's
yeah,
faddish.
I'm sure.
Someone
that's
say it
just
with
it,
faddish.
faddish.
And then, of course, the amendment that allows such as 2 hairstyles to be worn at once. For example, locks, twists, and can be braided or twisted to the scalp. Panel favor authorizing multiple but not limited number of hairstyles, and then provide imagery of what the regard of the multiple hairstyles look like. I think they're pretty. I'll be honest with you. Maybe it's because I didn't really. Am I a bad sergeant for not enforcing some shit that I've seen that looked like that already? Or am I bad as is that were we bad sergeants because we didn't care?
I guess so, because I know they've made lots of changes in the last rig too.
It just didn't
Or,
bother.
excuse me, in the last update. But I see nothing wrong with any
Right.
of these hairstyles
Correct.
compared to the old one. It's
Correct.
not past their collar. It's not in their over their eyebrows.
Okay.
I don't see anything wrong with them to begin with. But I guess that I didn't really even realize that wasn't allowed.
Right.
Like, to have some of your hair twisted and some of it braided.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I didn't know.
So short ponytail. What do you think about that? You see the short
That's
ponytail?
exactly what I was talking about. This is one that females really needed.
The short ponytail. Does it matter if
yeah.
it had a longer one?
Yeah. Well, the longer one, yes, but this one was to me is even more important because, like I was saying before, like when if a guy's trying to grow out a beard, it looks like ass for a while. It's the same with females that have short hair and try to pull it back because even then, it's going to get in your face. You're going to want to pull it out of your face, but it wasn't authorized to pull it back in a little ponytail because you weren't allowed to have a ponytail.
Right. That's true.
You had to like try to do this little flip to make it into this mini bun.
Right.
And that just looked ridiculous too, and it just would pop out. So this is one of those ones, like, unlike the earrings, females wanted.
Yeah.
And didn't hurt anything, doesn't look any less unprofessional than their hair hanging down to their shoulders or
Okay.
above their collar.
Okay, so now it's the long ponytail that we're talking about. It's amend paragraph 3-2 to such as long hair ponytails that are allowed in the utility uniform when conducting physical or wear tactical equipment, but not limited to the advanced combat helmet or the CBC helmet. The panel favor recommendations as long as the hair is secured inside the ACU top in tactical operations. What do you think about that?
They really have a problem with ponytails. And okay, for women with long hair, putting it up in a bun and pulling it back like that for 20 years is going to cause hair problems. It does. I know. I did it. My hair still breaks on the sides where I used to like. It's been 4 years since I've had to put gel in my hair, and it still just breaks in that part. The part about, especially with wearing a helmet and shooting, if you have a bun in the back of your head with the ACH, it doesn't sit right when you lay down to try to fire.
Correct.
And I never had a problem with anybody yelling at me for pulling my bun down out of reg, especially when I was qualifying. So yes, there needs to be. And I don't have big, thick hair. My bun wasn't like the size of my head.
Exactly.
It's tiny.
Exactly.
Like, smaller than my fist.
Exactly.
But it still was too big.
I just maybe again going back to maybe I'm a bad sergeant. I when we'd go to the range and they'd be like, hey, first sergeant, I'm gonna wear my hair out, blah blah blah. I'm like, oh, okay. I mean, it wouldn't. I don't know. I didn't give a shit, or you didn't give a shit either. I mean, so it was like I don't know. Maybe it had to be in writing so that way nobody had the ass. That's probably what it is. There was always a regulation that had to be spelled out for something so that way Big Sarge and Cav-Man don't fucking overdo it, if that makes any sense. And make it a big deal.
They see a ponytail, it's like, oh my gosh, I saw an ankle in
Right.
1890.
Exactly. My dearest Jessica, I saw my
I
soldier's
don't really
ankle.
understand the part about having to tuck it in your shirt.
Right. I don't like that.
I mean,
either.
I get it. Like if you're in somewhere where, if you're in something where your hair's going to get caught in we're not retarded. We don't want to get our hair caught in anything.
Right.
We're going to not have a fucking ponytail that day.
Right, exactly. So
it might be a lower bun.
So with that, the next thing goes into the highlights. This is frosted tips. I didn't know. So real quick, just what would it look like for a guy? I got a picture of Sergeant Major of the Army. I got a friend of mine that we follow each other on Twitter. His name's Brand Flakes Forever. What's up, my man? He has always bitching on Twitter about his hair with frosted tips being. He's always got that first sergeant bitching about his hair. Always. So once again, the meme lords at the Red Panda Meme Factory decided to put highlights on the Sergeant Major of the Army with said hairstyle of Brand Flakes Forever. What's up, my man? And it's that way you can see what he looks like with frosted tips. So there you go. This Sergeant Major of the Army with tips.
I'm waiting for my video to catch up so I can actually see it. But are we looking at like JT 1990-ish or 2000-ish? I can't remember when.
JT.
NSYNC. Oh, no. With the ramen noodle hair.
With the ramen noodle hair? No, not him.
Oh, I see.
There you go.
No, it's not that bad.
It's not that bad. So, but again, there is that hair color should not be the color that is extreme or must present a natural appearance. So a lot of individuals that had multicolored hair and all that was considered natural hair color. Now it's authorizing highlights, uniform blended colors, as long as it presents a natural appearance or hair color that's not prohibiting color as not limited to purple, blue, pink, green. So it's how obviously the more outlandish, bright colors and shit.
All right, because that's a thing now, and I guess it would be considered that word faddish.
Right.
Because lots of people have red, purple, pink. I had mine pink,
Right.
But I also know of the other extreme of that. When I was in basic training, I cannot remember the girl's name to save my life because I can barely remember something yesterday. People's hair they do have natural highlights, especially in the summer. I do. My daughter's hair is really dark. But in the summer, it bleaches out some from the sun, and you get natural highlights.
Right.
They swore up and down this girl had highlights and needed to dye them out. She didn't. So, and the only hair dye they had was box black. So this light brown hair girl with blonde highlights that were natural had to dye her hair black in basic training.
See, that's the thing. I'm not cool with somebody altering their hair. I don't know. It's just me.
Yeah, because they swore it wasn't natural.
Right, exactly. So the lipstick.
Two guys, by the
way. Of course. A lipstick nail polish. Women will wear shades of lipstick and nail polish that are extreme. And then, of course, panel favor and authorizing shades of lipstick and nail polish that are not extreme.
This is just going back. We used to be allowed to wear nail polish.
Right.
And it didn't hurt anything.
Right.
We were never allowed to wear fire engine red, purple, green, whatever, but we could wear nail polish, especially nude colors and stuff. And I'm one of those, if I don't have nail polish on, my nails split as soon as they get past the tip.
Correct.
It's not like I had super long fake nails or anything. Even now, I wear them all in funky colors, but they're not super long.
Right.
And they said you can only wear clear. To me, I thought that looked ridiculous because it's all shiny and stuff, and there's like light pinks and stuff that you can't even tell I have nail polish on because that's what I'm bad sergeant because I still did it. Right. Nobody could tell.
Right. Well, I didn't care either. I was like, it didn't look. If it didn't make me go, what the hell? Then I didn't care. That makes any sense. And I don't know. It's just common sense shit. VTT says I was woke before it became cool. I guess no. It was more common sense before it became cool. I guess not really.
We had too much common sense.
That's the problem. Yeah. Yeah, we didn't have Twitter. We didn't have Twitter blood pressure. We had just normal blood pressure. So now they're removing offensive wording to the terms, which I didn't know there was terms to be removed. If that makes any sense. So if you say, I know Fu Manchu was kind of because that was a considered style.
Yeah, that's a little
whatever. And Mohawk it could be offensive or can consider be harmful to members of the Asian community and the Mohawk Nation. That's the policy. So if that's right. Now dreadlocks changed to locks. I didn't know dreadlocks had that connection. So that to me, locks, that's lock. I mean, I've heard him call them locks before anyway. Again, not saying it was always presented to me that way already. So maybe I didn't. I guess if it's got to be put in a regulation, that means somebody fucked it up and didn't say anything right.
Right. Or someone used it derogatorily.
Correct.
I'm sure that's happened.
Right. Eccentric or faddish. These words seem to see extreme and exaggerated or sufficient. That's all you have to say. Extreme, or you don't have to say eccentric or faddish. those are words that we can't even say in Science Time anymore. We can't say
Can't-
faddish. Can't say
No, I
extreme-
love it.
It's
Although
a
I
forbidden
think
word.
extreme and exaggerated still isn't
Right.
real. That's just an adjective.
Right. And I love
You're not
this.
saying what is
Right.
allowed and what isn't.
Exactly. And I love
But-
this. Discretion of the commander and professional. I think it's awesome. I think removing the discretion of the commander or a subjective phrase when the term obviously could mean different. It could mean different. Like someone has a specific watch they're wearing or something like that, and it could be, I don't know. Somebody might not like it because it's got a spot of blue on there, or a red, or it's a Apple Watch or something. Somebody could say that's eccentric, or that's
Yes.
that's faddish.
Faddish.
So I mean, I'm just whatever. I'm not going to. If the Army said that's what it is, again, Spanky and I have always been like this when it came to describing or dealing with soldiers. Male, women soldiers, male soldiers. Man, see, that's the thing. The term that I'm noticing, that a woman soldier and a male soldier, man soldier, to me, as a person that is English second language, again, English is not my first language, so to me, it's really hard for me to grasp the term male soldier, woman soldier, because the way it's written out. I don't know. Maybe I need to take some English fucking classes to see how can I update my comprehension and writing skills or reading skills or enunciate whatever. But to me, I just think that it's just, I don't know.
I don't see anything wrong with saying female soldiers, but I have heard it. And you've heard it.
Right.
Using it like as a derogatory term, like, oh, all these females over here, or these females these. But I mean, you can use women and stuff in the same way. So that's one of the things I never really had a problem with. I always had a problem with commander's discretion,
Right.
because like, why even bother writing all this stuff down if you're going to leave it up to the commander to decide anyway?
He's gonna say no.
Because like, I don't like beards.
Right. Yeah.
Or,
I don't like what you
no.
look like with beards or whatever. Yeah, I know. I just think it's not. I didn't know that there was such a thing when it came to the words being offensive when it came to that stuff, when I never really used it. Maybe it was because I was educated, or someone would say, hey, no, first aren't you say it like that, or hey, aren't it's said like this. I don't know. It just but I didn't the whole, because I noticed that there was a lot of people that took to the point that they were saying male females and female soldiers and female men, and I saw I saw there was a little bit of high friction when it came to saying the word female soldier. Nobody wanted to be called a female soldier, and which is, hey, I'm looking at it like, I don't know how I say. Again, this is somebody whose English is a second language, so I have to like really look. Okay, so what do I say? Male soldiers, men soldier, soldiers of men soldier, women women soldier just flows better, I guess you would say.
And we probably never got any flack about it because we were never using it, in an offensive way.
But that's what I'm saying. I think you and I didn't really have an issue to, I don't know, just the way it was. If you, I have somebody who's going to be calling in a minute, and as soon as they call up, we're going to, we're going to get a point of view that most individuals didn't realize. Hey, look, okay, I Spanky, I'm going to give you guys a point of view from somebody who is a person of color, who's black, and I want her to be able to tell you guys what exactly is a good metric. So real quick, hello, WTF Nation Radio, you're on the air. Hello. Hey.
Hello.
What's up? Hey, this is my friend Gabby. Gabby, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you all?
Good.
Hi, Gabby. This is Spanky.
Okay, so
Spanky.
So we've been talking already. We went over real quick the introduction and all this stuff, and like I told you when we talked earlier today, I'm a person of color. I would be considered a person of color, but I'm a guy. Spanky is a Caucasian woman, and so I wanted you to come on to discuss a person of color's point of view.
Okay, yeah, sure.
So I mean, first off, give us, just, you don't have to give us specific details about yourself, but Are you? I mean, obviously you're an Army leader, right?
Right. Yeah. So, what do they call us now? Mid-career
Okay.
soldier. So I'm a mid-career NCO.
Okay, so mid-career NCO. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm a mid-career NCO. I serve in RSOF. So yeah, these changes, I don't wear a uniform half the time.
Right.
So these changes, I don't know how much they'll apply, but when they do apply, they are pretty welcome. They are pretty welcome. I can tell you, after 12 years in the service, some of these changes are going to have a pretty positive effect on my life personally with some of those changes.
Oh, okay, cool. Now, did you now you were in charge, and you said you're an RSOF. Now, you saw some of the changes. I mean, that means you jump out of planes. That means you go to the range a lot. Do you think, as a person of color, this is a good? I mean, what do you see some of it? Because here's the thing that I don't know. I'll let you explain first, and then I'll tell you my little point afterwards.
So, I mean, I think some of these changes were just common sense. So I have a couple of pictures of me last time I was at a 249 range, and I had my hair in braids, and that bun was just so cumbersome. Dude, I couldn't see. I didn't know what was going on. So my NCOIC was like, just take your hair out. And I did.
Right.
And I just let it flow.
Right.
I mean, it makes sense.
Right.
Regardless of whether you're a black soldier or a white woman soldier. Like, dude, that bun is a pain in the ass when you're trying to
Yes, we even
Yeah.
said that. I was telling Ice, I'm like, my hair is very thin, but it was, pretty long, and I had to put a bun in. I'm like, my bun is tiny, but it would still be in the way if I'm trying to fire. And I
Right.
had to pull it down past my collar so the pads would sit on my head right. And so,
Same
yeah.
thing.
And
Yeah,
mine's very little, so it's like even the smallest of bun will do that. So that's what I was telling. It's just we never had a problem with soldiers doing that on the range because it was common
Right.
sense.
And so now
You want
it's
them to be
just-
able to fire great.
Exactly. So now it's just saving you from that uptight sergeant major. They're like, oh, why is that soldier having the audacity to zero their weapon with their hair out? Like now it's just saving you. Same thing with like jumps. Like you jump with a bun, and I'm jumping, and first thing my helmet does is go over my eyeballs, and it's like, oh shit. I'm supposed to be doing all these points of performance,
Right.
and my helmet's on my eyeballs.
I was
So,
about
you
to.
know, it's like,
I was about to ask. I mean, is there a concern with your hair being down and you're performing, static line parachute operations, and you're. I mean, I've seen some straps flap worse than somebody's hair, if that makes any sense.
Right. I just feel like unless your ponytail has literal claws in it, I think you'll be fine, especially if you tuck it into the ACU top or the OCP top as the regulation is anticipating to stay.
Right.
If you have one of those medium ponytails, unless your ponytail has literal claws on it that are going to like grab onto your static line and jerk you back, I feel like you'll be okay.
Right.
I feel like
I don't think.
fine.
Yeah. Well, I don't think you have hair much, anyways. If your static line were to jerk it off, that didn't sound right. Phrasing. If it were to remove your hair, I'm sorry.
Right.
I'm embarrassed.
Right. And nobody wants to see soldiers get scalped.
Right.
For
Right.
jumping. So I think tucking it into the top is appropriate.
Right.
It's appropriate.
So now that it was released, and you're now, like I said, you're a mid-grade leader in the RSOF community. Did you feel that it was could you get a collective sigh from all the rest of the women soldiers in RSOF that they were like, oh, like thank God, or what was your, have you been getting any feedback?
So I'm a part of a Facebook group, Military Natural Hair. So it's a Facebook group where women of color, particularly Black women, get together and we talk about ways that you can force your natural hair to meet the old 670-1 requirements. So we offer each other support about here's what worked for me, here's what didn't work for me. Oh shoot, I got my hair dyed and some sergeant major jumped up my ass because it looked like it was a highlight, but then let's just keep it real. A white soldier walked by and she had 5 different highlights in her hair. No one said anything to her. So there was a collective sigh of relief because they're like, we know this page, U.S. Army What the Fuck Moments. You know how someone would post a picture of some 670-1 violation?
Right.
And then all of a sudden it was always some black soldier, and all the comments were like, "Well, don't say nothing to her because she's gonna follow
It's
EO
EO,
complain
right,
about
right.
you." Yeah, it's
Right.
a bunch of horse shit. So really, what it was is like, great. So now I can just, be professional, have my hair the way that it grows out of my hair, be professional. I can just drive on without looking over my shoulder every 2 seconds. Just like this old joke about always keeping 670-1 in your pocket if you're a black woman, because you never know when someone's going to get a hard on for your hair and want to jump down your throat. And so I understand that a lot of people don't have that experience.
Right. And I think, well, in the RSoft community, we deal with so many different cultures already as it is. It just doesn't. I mean, because most of my time has been a little bit in the Middle East, and the rest of my time has been in Africa. So it's not. I don't know. It didn't. Like I was telling Spanky earlier, it didn't bother me. It just wasn't an issue. It just, and I've had, we've had, black women soldiers I've served with, supervised. I mean, served with you, same thing. You know what I mean? It's almost, I don't know, like you said, common sense. It didn't freaking bother me. The minimum hair length, I didn't know that was an issue for women of color. Can you expand on that?
It is, because especially if you're doing something what's called the big chop. I've done the big chop before, which is where you cut off all of your chemically processed hair. So like if you have used chemicals to go from your natural coily state and you use chemicals to make your hair straight, you do what's called a big chop to cut off all those chemicals. And if you want to get rid of all of them, you got to cut it all off. And you couldn't do that because the reg said no. On top of that, there's also, if you are a woman and you want to attend Ranger School, if you want to attend the Special Forces qualification course, and you cut all your hair off, technically you were out of regs. So all of those women who went through Ranger School, when their hair was buzzed off, they were technically out of regs. So by removing that minimum hair length and then removing the language, which was like, oh, you want to present, you don't want females or women soldier to present a masculine appearance, I think just gets rid of that pressure. Like if you want to be healthy, cut your hair off so that you can have a healthy scalp, or attend Ranger School or the SF qualification course, do it.
Right. Again, that was just something that I didn't know that would be a big. I didn't know it was an effective. So, the terms, and again, I want everybody to understand in the audience here that a lot of it's education as well. So if there's somebody who is a person of color, or there's a new term called BIPOC or something like that, Black, Indigenous, Person of Color.
Yeah.
And if they're saying there's something specific that is not normal, that you would say. If you say, hey, no, that's not how I call my hair. So the term, I'm getting to the point of dreadlocks. You're right. I mean, you're where you were from, where your family comes from. What were they called? They call it locks too, right? I mean, I've heard it locks.
Right,
I've never heard of dreadlocks before. I just heard locks. If that makes any sense.
Yeah. So my mom's side of the family, my mom's Trinidadian. So my mom grew up in Trinidad and Tobago. My mom had locks growing up. Got aunts that have locks. Yeah, dreads weren't really a thing. When you called someone a dread, or when you talked about dreadlocks, you were talking about a specific type of person in the Caribbean. But in the United States, dreadlock has a very negative connotation. And people like to say things like, oh, well, people who have dreads, they're unkempt, they're dirty, they're nasty. And that's because people don't have any education. You wash locks just like you wash regular hair.
Right.
So removing the term dreadlocks is affirming, again, not reinforcing negative language and negative lexicon when we're trying to recruit people.
Right.
We
No,
need
exactly.
people from all walks of life. And
exactly.
The first thing, and what you don't want to do is offend someone out the gate to be like, well, I don't want to be a part of this kind of organization.
Yeah, especially when you're part of an organization that already deals with multicultural things to begin with.
Right.
Like mostly work in RSoft. I think if you're worried about if you don't want to be dealing with different cultures, then RSoft is definitely not for you.
It's not the place for you. And I remember a few years ago, to a point, we had a 25 Bravo who was in our company, and I never knew she had locks under her hair, because before 670-1 was amended to allow locks, she wore a wig every single day. She wore a wig every single day. And when 670-1 was amended, she showed up to work and she had those locks. I was like, what is going on?
Where'd they come from?
Where did it come from? But could you imagine
Right.
every day slapping a wig on just so you can serve your country?
No.
Like, really?
No. No, I mean, as a, you know, I mean, I'm a man. I mean, I was telling Spanky earlier before we started the show. It's like, I just get up, you know, I have little hair. We just normally had it short anyways, and that was it. It was, I get up and go, you know.
And can we pull over for a minute and talk about how everyone's like, oh, well, you know, we're just being woke and everybody should just have shaved heads. I know plenty of men who would not want to shave themselves bald to serve.
absolutely.
Like, let's cut the shit. Everybody should just be bald. No, actually, no. Shit. Relax.
Right.
I do have a question because when we went over this slide earlier, Ice and I didn't realize that you couldn't have like two different hairstyles, like
Right.
twisting in a bun. Like I didn't even know that. Like I guess I never saw anything wrong with those hairstyles. Like they look professional and reg to me, you know. I'm like, so I never even realized that wasn't allowed.
Yeah,
and maybe it's because I didn't really know the difference between twist and braids and locks. I'm like,
Right.
you know, or two-string twist. I learned that in the last update, you know, but I didn't know this. So
Yeah.
I'm like, it all looks great.
Yeah, it looks ridiculous. It's out of the way. Doesn't impede the way that I wear the uniform. And, you know, Black women, we have this thing where we talk about our edges. Our edges are just the hair that frames our face. Pulling your natural hair back in a tight bun means you're not going to have any edges. So by twisting the side, you get to protect your edges and keep your edges. And so that's really all it is. It's about saving the edges so that you're not looking, you know, like Conehead by the time you retire out of the army. It's just not, it's not forcing the hair to go straight back in the manner for which it doesn't grow. So by just twisting it to the side, the way that it naturally grows from your head, keeping it nice and neat, you get to save your edges.
See, edges, see.
Makes
there you
sense. Makes sense. Like I said, mine was different. Like I said, mine would break off on the sides from trying to like gel it back, you know, because, you know, God forbid, like my hair, little wispy hairs fly away. But yeah, so I have to use a pound of gel. I haven't used gel since I got out.
When I first joined, I remember at night, I'm talking about at night before I had to get up the next morning and go to PT, I would wet my hair and put so much gel on it and tie it up so that I could show up to do physical fitness with my hair in a flat bun.
Yeah.
What?
That's
what kind of stress is that? Like, why can't I just go to sleep and wake up and then get after it? No, I gotta have
you gotta be pretty for PT.
It's
Hey, Gabby, you're breaking up. You still there?
Can you hear me?
Oh, now we can hear you now. Yeah, you broke up for a little bit.
Great. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I was just saying it was just like ridiculous that you would put so much effort into your hair. Like combat water survival training was the day I used to dread. Oh my.
Tell us that why is that? I mean,
yes.
Please tell us. I mean, because
like, all right, I had to spend all these hours, do all these things to manipulate my hair to get it, you know, because 670-1 used to call my natural hair unkempt. So it's like I had to go through all of this just to make sure, and they would pop up with that combat water survival training. I was like, okay, great. I got to go to the beauty supply store because I got to find a wig. Because let me tell you, once I hit this water and all this gel and conditioner goes away, let me tell you what, I'm not coming up. I'm not coming up out of that water 670-1 approved. I don't have all these hours to get my hair together. And so it's just like, you know, yes, wigs are approved. Yes, weaves are approved. And that's fine if you want to. But the way that your hair naturally grows out of your scalp, the fact that you would have to chemically alter it, the fact that you would have to go through a lot to braid it down and put a wig on so you can meet this weird standard of professionalism is a lot. And I remember when Sergeant Major of the Army was, I know he's a controversial figure, but when he was tweeting about it, I tweeted him back and I said, you know, I'm really thankful for this thoughtful approach to 670-1 because there is an unspoken anxiety that certain women have to go through every day
Right.
just to wear their uniform and have it say U.S. Army next to it.
Right.
So it's like, you know, and I get it. Not everyone has that experience. And I know there were some like jarring responses about why the board looked the way that it did. It was because for years, 670-1, let's just keep it real, was written by white men.
Yeah.
It didn't even have women.
Didn't have women at all. Right.
Yeah. So it was written by white men who weren't knowledgeable, who didn't know about traction alopecia, who didn't know about chemical relaxers, and the fact that if you get a relaxer, you can get scabs all over your head.
Yes.
To meet this standard.
I didn't.
And so
go ahead.
Yeah. So the fact that you are purposeful in getting a board or a panel together of women, diverse women. No, it wasn't diverse men because we're talking about women, women's hair health, scalp health. And that doesn't take away from men. I still think men should be allowed to wear beards, but this didn't have anything to do with beards. It didn't have anything to do with canceling white men or being woke. It just had everything to do with the fact of making sure your sisters in arms were just as comfortable or were just as comfortable getting up every morning, not having to spend forever, just so they could put on the same uniform you do and come to work and get yelled at by the same dickhead sergeant major you get yelled at. Can we just acknowledge that?
Right.
Absolutely.
Like we took something away from somebody.
Right. And it's not even them that has to wear it. That's what the biggest thing too is. It's a lot of the big Sarge factor. I was like, well, I didn't. Why are you sweating it? You know what I mean? It's why some of these individuals would be like, no, it shouldn't be done like that. Or I have other NCOs that I talk to also, and I asked them, I was like, why do you think why do you care? I got a picture that you talked about traction I can't even pronounce alopecia on a woman of color. I'm showing them what it looks like right quick to the audience, and it was something that you were talking about earlier when you said about your hair being done. I did not know that this was and this is my, again, I did not know that this was one of the side effects of always having to put your hair in a bun, always have your hair, like you said, not having the big chop, the chemical. I was like, holy shit. For real. I was like looking at these pictures you were talking about, and I'm like, damn, I feel like ass. Like I really do. I was like, God damn, man. Here I always would correct, women back in the day saying, hey, you need to fix your hair, put it in a bun. Well, first, the reason why I don't do it like that is because and because this. I'm like, oh, okay, I didn't know that. All right, cool. It hurts. I got a migraine. I got a headache. And I would respect that, obviously. But then as obviously, coming up in the ranks and seeing the hair and then understanding the issues. And then you were talking about, I was like, God damn, dude. Can you talk about this a little bit? Have you experienced this a lot? Do you know anybody in the military right now that's in your community that does that has that?
Yeah. So I actually experienced some traction alopecia back in 2018. So I had my hair in what we call 2-strand twist. And the lady who braided mine actually braided them a little too tight. So imagine your hair already having hair added to it. And there's tension there. And then you add more tension by trying to pull it back into the neatest, tightest bun, because God forbid you have, a bun that's loose or messy, someone's going to jump down your throat about it. So that's traction on top of traction. And so by the time I took them out, what used to be 7, 8, 9 inches of hair are now 2 inches of hair because it's broken off from all that traction, from all that pulling. And, I've known women who have cut all their hair off because they were their edges, right? We talked about edges.
Right.
Edges were thinning. So they had thin edges to where you could literally see their scalp. So once where it was nothing but hair, now it's scalp. And so I know lots of women, and like I said, I'm part of a Facebook group, Military Natural Hair, where we talk about ways that you can save your hair. And so that goes back to, like, when you see Black women with wigs on in service, it's not because they're bald. They're actually wearing their wigs so they don't go bald. They're wearing their wigs so they can just leave their hair alone, slap the wig on, and go. I personally hate wigs because they're so hot, but some women endure the wigs just so they don't have to even attempt to take their natural hair and get them into 670-1. That's what it is. So it's about conversation,
right?
But two, are we really acting like there's been a safe space for women of color to have this conversation in the Army? Because it seems like when you do, then it's like, oh, the Army's not a social experiment and this is being woke. It's like, no, but like I'm actually going bald.
Right.
Serve my country.
Right. Now I got another picture up of another woman who has too that you're. I just, when you brought it up to me, and you know, you and Spanky and you know, other people that I spoke to, when you brought it up to you, you're like, hey, look it up. I was just, and that's the thing that I guess dudes need to fucking. I mean, think about it. I always look at it when everyone's like, oh, you know, guys, why are you being so woke? Why? And I said, I have daughters. All right, so yeah. I have daughters, and I will be damned if I'm gonna have some punk just give my fucking daughter shit all the fucking time about her hair when she's trying to serve her country, and you know, trying to do what she wants to do in uniform, whatever, and then get drama. I'd beat that ass. And you know, and I mean, obviously, I had kids early in the Army, so I knew that at any time I always looked at something like, how would it affect your daughter? How would, if you're sitting there shit talking a woman in uniform, imagine someone shit talking your daughter or your wife. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, look at her. That's not a black. And then, you know, there's always that other part too, where people realize it's not just black women soldiers who go through this. Clearly, that picture is not. But we know that's the easy way out. It's like, ooh, whatever. But let's just be very clear. The fact of the matter is, to my brother service members out there, you get to get up, right? If you got to put a couple pumps of Rogaine, that's your business. But you get to get up and go about your business. You don't got to spend 30 minutes, 45 minutes, an hour, 2 hours. You don't have to chemically alter your hair. You don't have to stress about all of that going on. Like, male pattern baldness is a thing in your family.
Yeah.
But, you know, you have to think about the fact that, yeah, there are different experiences. It's not to say someone is having a worse experience than you, but there's nothing wrong with the Army saying, you know what? We want to care for the health and welfare of all our soldiers. So we're just going to take a knee and focus on this particular group of soldiers who have had this problem, fix it so we can drive on. This was a 670-1 update. This wasn't an update to any of the national strategic documents. So all this talk about, don't we have other things to worry about? we have been able to like walk and chew gum at the same time as a service for centuries. So this was a 670-1 update. Relax. Like, JP5 didn't change. You know, the joint planning process is still the joint planning process. Integration is still integration. Like, all those things are still there. It was literally just the wear and appearance. I don't know why all of a sudden we acted like ponytails meant the end of like joint planning and readiness. Like, I literally do not know where that came from, but it's fine.
We'll be all right. Exactly. We'll be all right. I got another picture up of two more cases of it.
Oh my God. Yeah, like, so the picture on the right is literally what my hair looked like when I took those twists out.
Yeah.
Your girl was struggling. But now, you know, I have nursed my edges back to health. So I have full edges now.
And the picture on the left is what mine look like. And now that and I haven't, you know, the sides stopped breaking since, you know, I retired. So they stopped breaking because I haven't used gel. I rarely put my hair up. And if I do, it's just very loose. So yeah. All the little side hairs are growing back too. I mean, I look at my daughter's hair. I'm like, did my hair ever look like that? You know, was it ever that thick? You know, I'm just like,
oh my God. Like, I'm just gonna be honest. When the 26th of February comes, just off the strength that it's allowed, I'm wearing studs. I'm putting my hair in the flyest ponytail I can find. It doesn't go past my shoulder blades. I'm swinging my ponytail in everyone's face, and I'm gonna be like, what is your problem?
Right, and you're gonna have nails. And
oh my God.
Color your nails.
with brown nails. I'm
Right.
gonna have nice nude brown nails, and I'm just gonna be in everyone's face like, what's the problem? Because
Right.
honestly, look at that. Look at that. Really, are you saying that it's, hey, scalp yourself in the front or wear a loose ponytail? Honestly, like, and whoever just commented, okay, so mullets, no, we're not doing business in the front, party in the back. That's not gonna be a thing. Unless you want to look like this service member up here, looking like she, was in a fight with the natives, like she just got scalped. Let's not.
Yeah.
Let's just let everyone be healthy. It's not taken away from anything.
Right, exactly.
I am a supporter of the beard. I hope you all get your beards, even though I know the majority of your beards don't connect. So why are you crying about beard?
Neck beards.
Exactly. Oh my God. There needs to be some standards on the beard thing too, because there's guys that they're like, oh, we should have beards, and you look at them, and it looks like someone just threw a like hair from the barber shop from the floor and just threw it on their face. That's what it looks like.
Exactly, Patches. Calm down. If your beard doesn't connect, probably shouldn't be hollering about beard. Ooh, this is so unfair. Dude, your beard comes in like my daughter's jigsaw. Relax. Relax.
I miss shooting this shit with you, Gabby.
Like, relax.
Oh.
But I get it. I do think the argument against beards, for the record, I think the argument against beards is archaic. Everyone knows you can seal a gas mask with a beard. So I don't know. Sergeant Major, I will say this. I think that the way that the rollout happened, when you frame it as this is about being inclusive and health, and then you throw in stuff like earrings. Earrings don't have shit to do with health. I see why people are mad.
No, we talked about that. I was like, nobody cares about the earrings. We really didn't. Okay, fine, we can wear them now, but that wasn't an issue. If you ask me, like, nobody was like, oh, it's going to make or break us if we can't wear earrings. Like,
yeah.
I probably would. I probably wouldn't, just because earrings stab me and I don't like them. And but that's just me. You want to wear them, fine. It doesn't hurt anything. But I don't think that's what anybody was like really pushing for. Like, we need them. We needed to be able to take care of our hair, especially. It didn't take me hours to do my hair. It took me 10 minutes. But I couldn't imagine having to spend that much time on my hair every day. I just would. I would probably wear the wig. I probably would. I just couldn't imagine.
Oh, man,
I'm just that much time.
Yeah, I'm letting you ladies talk, because I got no skin in that fight. I just let you ladies talk on that. That's not my thing there.
Yeah, I just feel like it takes conversations like this so that you can understand that, yes, we all wear the same uniform. Some of us just had to put in a little bit more time and effort to be in regulation to wear that uniform than others. That doesn't mean that like I deserve special treatment. It's just the fact that now there's a regulation that recognizes that and allows me to go, oh, I can just put my hair in two little parts to the side and go about my business. And I don't have to sit here, and spend $200 every 6 weeks to get my hair braided. That's really expensive. Wigs are expensive.
Jesus.
Yeah, like when I used to get my hair braided, the lady who used to braid my hair, it was $220, and that was every 6 to 8 weeks. So
that's insane.
Damn.
Yeah. So I mean, that's just a fact. That's what happened. And so it's like just saying, okay, great, thank you for raising your right hand. Swearing an oath of allegiance to our armed services. You don't have to do that. You can just come to work. Now, again, I don't know what earrings had to do with any of that, but I'm just.
You go right
FYI.
ahead, like you're allowed.
Yeah, FYI.
And I would be painting my nails. I definitely would. And I was telling Ice, when I first came in, we were allowed to have painted nails, and it's pretty much the same rule it is now. They couldn't be like crazy colors or fire engine red or orange or anything purple, but we could. And nothing ever. I don't know why they took it away. I really don't. Just. One day when they made an update, and I can't remember what year it was, but it was in the early 2000s. I want to say it's 2003, but I can't remember. Anyway, they said all of a sudden, nope, No nail polish. And I was telling him I would just wear a color you couldn't tell I had nail polish on. I need it so my nails don't split.
I definitely used to get nail polish on my nails. And you know what? I want to say shout out to the men soldiers who get to put clear polish on their nails.
Hey.
Yeah.
You know, good for you.
They might have the same problem I do, and their nails will split if they're not polished.
Right. Can you imagine?
I eat my
like,
veggies.
You're
I don't have to worry
at
about
the
that shit.
weapons cleaning station and you get all, no, you don't. But in the beard petition, just FYI, I've signed it.
That's what I'm talking about.
But yeah,
Same.
I would just, I guess my last bit of advice is to, men soldiers who are feeling left out and feeling like they got hosed. None of these things took away from anything you had going on.
Absolutely not.
Nothing took away from that. It's not woke. It's not, turning the service into a social justice program. It is literally just ensuring that your sister soldiers get to show up to work with that same confidence that you had, because the regs now reflect that. The same way, white men wrote 670-1 all these years and it didn't bother you except for beards. It's now just recognizing, hey, we have a diverse group of soldiers. Let's lessen the anxiety on them so that they can get back to performance and lethality. And
That's right. That's right. Let's get of excellence.
Right. Yeah. Those 2 hours you were working on your hair, you could have been, working on some slideshow for some sermon.
Let me tell you something, Spanky. I could have been working on zeroing my weapon, but instead,
I would make sure my hair looked great.
I was making sure my hair was great. Like I could have figured out how to wipe ISIS off the planet a long time ago.
That's right.
Had I not had to sit at the braider for 9 hours on a Saturday. You're right.
With that, we're going to take a break right quick. Hey, Gabby, thanks. Hang out for a little bit after when we go on breaks. That way we can shoot the shit for a little bit. But thanks.
Okay.
Definitely thanks for your insight. Appreciate it. And guys, we'll be right back. And so refill your glasses, refill your coffee, go take a leak, smoke a cigarette, whatever. We'll be right back. Shots.
WTF Nation Radio. WTF Nation Radio.
Take it from me, Ice. You can't just float around space not caring about stuff forever.
The voice of U.S. Army. WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
Shit in the bag, Pogue.
Hello, Mama. Hello, Daddy. I've got something that I've never said before. Went down south of the border.